Feel the turbos. This video is actually a little bit bittersweet. This will be the last video that I make with my 1991 Nissan 300ZX. Last video because I've had this car for 2 years. In fact, 2 years this month. I can't believe that. We were buying it to do our Cars of the Past series, and we were going to do a lot of great road trips in it. I've had an amazing amount of fun with it. I finally bought the 300ZX. I wished I owned the first time, but I figured there was a good chance I wouldn't keep it long term. Now, 2 years is good, and I've enjoyed it, and I've put about 17,000 miles on it in that time. However, the time has come to let it go. So, this car is going to be auctioned off. We're going to sell it. Our patron supporters that are part of our show, they are all on a Discord channel together. It's a really great community, actually, and we're going to auction it off there on Discord to the highest bidder. So in some ways, this is the long goodbye. This is the video where I drive the car again and think about what it's meant, the condition that it's in right now, and what happens next. But I hope whoever buys it really drives it, because it is ready.
Great cars, great roads, and all the reasons we love to drive.
Road trips, comparisons, test drives, and podcasts. This is Everyday Driver.
I'll admit, when I first bought this car, I was a little bit worried about it because these can be hard to work on. You've got to find a mechanic who wants to tackle it because the engine bay is really, really tight. And I just thought, is this going to be constant problems? And I watched Paul's experience and it made me even more frightened. And the truth is, no, it's been great. So here it is, my 1991 Nissan 300ZX. I found it on Auto Tempest, which was amazing. I found it just up in Montana, a day's drive away from me. I did put these really cool Inkies on it. I know they're not the stock wheels, but I love them. I think they make the car look even better. Also got new brakes front and rear from our friends at Power Stop, and I changed the shocks to make them just like the stock shocks. They actually switch with the Sport and Touring switch. This car has carried me through 4 amazing road trips, all the directions of the compass. Only issue I ever had was actually overheating on our north trip, and that was because we got to extreme altitude and discovered a pressure-sensitive hole in the radiator, new radiator, and it runs like a champ.
We've been back and forth to Texas since the new radiator, even driven on Coda, and the temp is perfect. The new owner of this Z will get a very well-sorted car. Between me and the prior owner, most of the known issues or upgrades have been done. The timing belt, a definite issue on these cars, something you don't want to have go too long, was done 20,000 miles ago. The clutch, flywheel, and master cylinder all have less than 30,000 miles on them. The subframe bushings were done by the prior owner about 20,000 miles ago, and I fixed a power steering leak and replaced all the steering rack bushings. Everything works, all the electrics and the mechanicals. It drives better than the day I got it. Proven itself with all of our road trips. The only downside is the paint.
Because the paint on the nose here has suffered. It has suffered over these road trips. It wasn't perfect when I bought it. It still has plenty of chips in it now. I have not fixed it because right now it is still the stock original Aztec red paint. Whoever the new owner is, I hope they drive it, but they also can decide, do they want to keep the original paint and try to get paint correction done on the original paint, or would they rather respray the car? So I'm moving on, reluctantly. On June 1st and 2nd, I am auctioning off this car to our patrons through our Discord channel, and hopefully it finds an amazing new home of somebody that will drive it and has watched this car have these adventures and will take it on even more. I know you can find another 300ZX out there that is cleaner as far as just being a show car and having amazing paint. That doesn't surprise me. However, I think you'd be hard-pressed to find one that's better sorted to actually be driven. This is not a museum piece. This is a car to be enjoyed, and I will miss it. Thanks to my suspension change, we actually got new dampers. This Sport and Touring button works. It actually works like it's supposed to. You can feel a difference. Initially, when I bought this car, the Touring mode felt kind of like I expected Sport to feel, and the Sport mode was laughably stiff. It was way too much, and so I did change that over the course of owning this car, and it has made it actually usable and changeable. It also has the HICUS, that's rear wheel steering, hydraulic-based rear wheel steering. In a lot of these older cars, the HICUS system doesn't work anymore. This one, it works great. No leaks, it's wonderful. I will miss the nostalgia. There is a huge nostalgia factor for me on this car. It was the first car that got me inspired about driving. I've got this second one now that is the spec I wish that first one had been. This is a car from another era with the hydraulic steering and the way the manual transmission feels and the heavy clutch. You don't find cars that drive like this anymore. That's both good and bad. I've somewhat modernized the interior with this stereo. It's Bluetooth, but of course there's no screen or touchscreen or Apple CarPlay in here. I do sometimes wish this had a 6-speed, but I mean, that's just a car of the era. However, I will say, you know, speaking of things I'll miss, turbos. It's that old school turbo where there isn't anything for a long time. You get above about 3,500 RPM and they really wake up, and they've got a lot to offer this car. Yes, this has a tune on it that has made it a little bit more powerful than it was stock, probably about 330 horsepower or so, up a little bit from where it was. Compared to Paul's 928, this may as well be a new car as far as how cheap it's been to run and how reliable it's been. Whoever buys this has the ability to take this classic, universally loved styling and just drive it and enjoy it. You don't have to baby it. You can actually use it. I've proven that. I really do hope it's not just stored in a garage somewhere, because this one is ready to drive. With all the stuff that's been fixed or changed or updated in the last 20,000 miles, we're coming up on 90,000 miles now, 89,500 essentially, and it's just ready for another 20, 30 more. Life just changes. Budgets are a real thing, and unfortunately this is a car that I can't keep indefinitely. I'm not at the place in life where I'm just collecting cars and things don't have to cycle out. So this one is going to go hopefully to a very good home. That is happening over the next 2 days. That is Thursday, June 1st and Friday, June 2nd. By the end of June 2nd, there will be a new owner of this car. We'll figure out delivery. I'll give them this car, all the records, the original stock wheels, even though I prefer these. They will get a car that they can drive, and I will watch it drive away with some sadness, because I would love to keep it around, but it will go with some amazing memories, some fantastic adventures. I have seen parts of the country I never imagined that I want to go back to because I did it in this car, and nothing can ever take that away from me. I will always have it. From the moment I picked it up in Montana and drove it home with my son, to driving 4 amazing road trips, taking a Utah meetup in this car, also with my son. We've had great experiences as a family, as an individual. What a really cool car.